The sound might be a little wonky, but that's alright. I didn't want to wear a headpiece or anything like that. There's just going to be a quick little, I don't know, I was going to mess around with this, and I figured somebody might want to check this out. So let me explain what happened. So this is my OG GameCube, and you know how it is, your new TVs don't have hookups, and usually the plugins that you would want for older consoles don't necessarily work right. So you'll get a little converter box, right? So it's a converter box where you'll plug it in, it'll convert to HDMI out, and a lot of times those are powered. So that being said, those powered ones, if you're not careful, and depending on the console, you can actually push power both directions. Not only powering through the HDMI, but also powering back in towards the console. And my troubleshooting thought process, breaking everything down on this GameCube, because it just stopped working one day, is that was the case, that my that the power going in actually pushed and damaged my power board. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually change out that third bottom power board and see if that fixes the situation. So I did smell a little bit of the magic smoke. If any of you know about the magic smoke, that's the smell that you don't want for electronics. It's a chemical smell, and I was getting that, the most heavy location was on that power board. So yeah, I just decided, well, let me order one of these things. The boards are super cheap, so I figured I'd just fire it up and bring it in. And I was just going to do this myself. I like tinkering with this stuff, but I figured, somebody might want to watch and see what's going on. So I've already taken it a point, or made it a point to take apart part of this GameCube at that point. This is, of course, the front. There's some special screws that go on the bottom. You need to have a special key to be able to get those out, to be able to take the upper skin off. So upper skin of the GameCube is off. And then there are multiple screws down in here. I've already removed most of them, but actually, I think I have another screwdriver that I wanted to use for that. I removed most of them. Do I want to do that? I think so. I don't even remember what I used when I did this, but it's fine. This will probably be okay. So I'm going to grab some Phillips head. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, you want to be careful. You don't necessarily want to use anything that's magnetic, if at all possible, when you're dealing with electronics. Usually not, but I do have something else. I remember. I grabbed another screwdriver. Where are you at? One of these. Here we are. These are a little bit more of my special screwdrivers that don't cause anything weird and magnetic to happen in here. So I'm going to remove. I took most of these apart already just to see what board I needed to order, and then I reassembled part of it just so things weren't rattling all over the place and thrown all over. So it's only partially reassembled, and I'll show you here the pieces that I'm going to be changing out once I get this stuff done. I'm not going to, this is pretty fast. I'm not going to really time lapse any of this stuff just because, I mean, time is short anyways. So, back piece, just over here. Almost done with that. So this fan, this is another weird thing. So when I would power it up, the fan would work, but that was it. Just this fan would kick on, so nothing else would power. So that's another reason why I kind of narrowed it down to, it's probably this power board. All right, so as you can see, this fan just kind of pops out of here. All right, let me try and remove this now. These things kind of plug in to each other. There it is. Going to remove, oh, this is the whole piece. That's right, these separate. I think I actually separated them last time. Oh yeah, I did. Alright, so this is the actual drive. Those of you that have messed with GameCubes in the past, I'm sure you've heard of this, like adjusting the sensitivity on the eyepiece. you got to take it totally off of here to get to those adjustments. You know, there's just, as you can see, the screws to remove this bottom plate. This is basically a spacer plate, so airflow can get to over the top of this board. Can we see this? Yeah. This board, there's a big heat sink. This is where the CPU and all that stuff is, and the actual main working parts of the actual computer system itself. But yeah, I don't have to mess with this because this was not. Sometimes if there's an adjustment for the eyepiece issue, it won't spin, the disc won't spin, or it won't read. That's not what was happening here. It was a dead stick, meaning when I would plug in the powered HDMI, it would actually power up my machine, and my machine was not on. That was the first indication, like, oh shoot, this is not good, because the power light should not be on when the machine is off, but that was happening. So I'm thinking that's what it is. This is the actual power board down here that I'm going to remove and change out with a new one that I have over here, and hopefully that will fix it. So let me set this piece aside. Again, I'll let everyone kind of take a peek at what this looks like. This is another one of these. I don't want to take the heatsink off, but you'll see there's basically like 4 different big chips underneath there, which is pretty cool. The underside of the board. Well, I don't necessarily want to pull this off, but you can separate. You can separate all these things. If I was to take the heatsink screws out, and you could look at the bottom side, and there's a lot of weird, cool circuitry underneath here if you're into that nerd stuff. But yeah, let me just set this aside here. And this is the meat and potatoes of what I want to mess with. Here is my replacement. Now this is a first series GameCube. How can you tell? It has the digital port out. Some of this one right here. Some of the second iteration only had this port because they wanted to, I don't know, save money or something, so they removed this other high definition port. So yeah, that's how you can tell. That's why usually these DO1 are usually more desirable, but you have to get the matching board that goes along with it. So here is, as you can see, it looks very similar, right? So the other ones don't have the same configuration. It's pretty cool. So I figure I'll just swap this board out and hopefully that fixes it. But you never can tell until you do it, right? But I figured, yeah, somebody might want to watch this getting ripped apart. Alright, so now I'm going to take these screws out. Again, no time lapse. You just get the magic happening. Pay attention to the orientation of where all these screws go if you need to set them aside in a special spot. Most of the screws are the same size on this, believe it or not, but there is about 4 to 5 different types of screws, but not as complicated as some. So we're going to try this out, see how it works, and it's either going to be hooray, or it's going to be hello darkness, my old friend. So we'll see. Oh, there it is. Come on out, baby. Alright, let me get these screws out of here now. Set those aside. Yep. TDK. Alright, so see if there's anything obvious that I can see underneath here. Nothing really obvious. Yeah. Still getting a little bit of the magic smoke smell. Not as much because, you know, it's been about a week or so since it happened. Hey, what's up, Zach? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just pulling. This is the old one that I'm yanking out of here. And then I got the new one over here. Here's my new. Y'all can see that. It doesn't smell like magic smoke, which is a good thing. All right, so I do want to set this bad boy down right there. What do we got going on here? Oh yeah, and I got a fan as well. The fan that came with my new set. So I might as well plug this thing in. Because I bought it all together, I might as well put it all back together. There you go, baby. There it is. Alright. So now we're going to slide this bad boy back in. Alright, I'm just going to put these screws in first, I think, before I start messing with this. There it is. Yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I hope it's not that. But now I got stuck in my head, dang it. I tend to do that a lot. Let's see. Come on, baby. So what I'm doing is I'm carefully making sure that it's seating straight. You don't really want to over tighten one screw before you get all of them in, because then you're going to torque the board and you don't want it, you know, having any kind of a weird torsion on it. Still look okay? Try and get you back in the middle a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that one looks like it was repaired. Very cool. Just looking at little subtle differences. But for the most part, the boards are very similar. The biggest difference will be, if you notice, you'll see this first gen board versus one of the second generation GameCube Power boards. Totally different. This one's way more complex, and I think it has something to do with that digital out. Okay, so there it is. So that board's back in. Looks good. Got this. Finished putting that together. Alright, so now let's go and see about reassembling this thing. Seems how y'all didn't get to see it come apart. Put this bad boy back in here. Okay, it plugs in. Plug in, baby. Plug in. There it goes. That was actually the power pins. You can see these double row of pins right here underneath my finger. Those actually go directly down into the actual power board. This right here, and that plugs into the receiver that was under there. So that's what had to snap down. Okay, now I'm going to take this, and a lot of these go together. I didn't want to overly disassemble everything when you don't necessarily have to. There was another piece that plugs in and slams down. Alright. Now the weird one on this, oh, hint. So it's been a long time and I didn't take my own hint, but I'm pretty good at figuring things out. Make sure that you take pictures before you do things. Actually, I did take pictures. Take pictures before you start pulling a bunch of stuff apart, because then putting it all back together, it'll be a lot easier. Less heartache, less headaches. So let's see. It was a while back. Let me look back here. Oh, there we are. Okay. So what am I looking for? Actually, I'm looking for this picture right here. When I first was disassembling it. No, that's not the one. Well, it's a little blurry. There it is. This is the one I want. This tells me orientation of these it's hard to see because you got the lighting, but it tells me orientation of where these brackets go. These longer brackets, and it looks like they point towards the front. So there are lots of, by the way, how-to videos on how to reassemble and how to dismantle GameCubes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really going through a full teardown and repair. This is just me kind of troubleshooting what I think is wrong with this, and we will see if we are correct or not. Let's see. I know these ones are long. That's what she said. And just slide that in there. That's good. Maybe. I think that's good. All right, one down. Next. Okay. I don't want these screws running away from me. Yeah, I didn't really think that I was going to have to be tearing into this GameCube anytime soon, but life happens, you know what I'm saying? So, again, the public service announcement here is be very, very careful on the powered HDMI adapters that you get for your consoles, because consoles do not like having power pushing two directions at them. So you got incoming power, and now you have a powered adapter that's pushing the other direction sometimes. That's where the conflict happens, and that's where you can have burnout. So we don't want that to happen. So just there's your heads up. That's it, I think. Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. All right, so I got these two outer ones, so I got to do all three of these inner ones first. Now these were all screwed in, so it shouldn't be difficult to re-screw them back in. So if something feels a little off, don't force it. There's my other tech hint. Like, it's supposed to be there, it was there. If you're having to feel like you're re-threading it again, you're cross-threading your screw hole. So sometimes the trick, if you guys haven't done a lot of screws, is to kind of reverse it until you feel it kind of pop. And then you go forward again. Cool. Next. Still going. Make sure you use the right amount. these screws here. I might do a battery mod too. If you've noticed, one of the things with GameCubes is that they'll lose their date and time. What that is here, let me just show you. I mean, I'm not messing with that right now, but that's this battery right back behind the actual controller board. This battery right here is the one that helps the computer remember dates and times, and so what happens is it goes bad, right? It just, batteries only last for so long. But there's a mod that you can do that you can put a spot where these are easily removed. Right now it's soldered in place, so you're gonna have to unsolder it. But yeah, so I might do that at some point. You can change the LEDs at that point too. All kinds of cool stuff. So I don't know if I'm really wanting to get into modding, a whole lot of heavy modding on this thing. But, you know, I say that now, and then I change my mind later. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards modding an N64 before I do a GameCube. So use the right amount. Yeah, there's all kinds of screws over this bad boy. This side. How solid we're going. Yep, looks good. All right, that. We'll just keep going here. I know this is the boring stuff, but it's still pretty cool though. Maybe I'll stick a couple of these in here. Save us a little bit of time. I don't know if some of you are like me. It's usually when I can get in here and start doing stuff like this, it sounds weird, but it's kind of calming. Where I can just kind of systematically go through and, you know, just relax a little bit and just put things together. A lot of times people are like, well, how can you get relaxed when you're doing stuff like this? Think of it as just a little bit of an upgrade to puzzles, because that's what it is, really. I mean, it's just a mechanical puzzle. I mean, if you do it right, things only go back together usually one way. At least one way to make it work. So nice. Okay, we're getting close. Almost all. I think we're good. Oh, was there some that were underneath the front? Hold up. There were. Well, do I want to take this all back apart? Because I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that about right? 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Bollocks. Well, yeah, I gotta take it apart. Oh well. Oh, what do we got here? Yo! Yeah, what's up, Shadow? Now you're gonna see me disassemble it again. Because I did the rookie mistake of not paying attention to the spots that are hidden. Now, I'm super anal, you guys, if you haven't figured this out. So Would it have worked if I would have just left it and finished reassembling it? Yes, it would have. But would it have been right? No, it wouldn't have been. So guess what? You're going to watch me take all of these things back out. All this boring stuff. You're going to watch me, well, I guess things go, usually it comes out faster than it goes in, you know what I'm saying? All right. Yep, yep, yep. It's underneath this, this optical drive piece is the issue. Come on out of there. Yep. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I never thought, you know, in a million years growing up that I would be doing things like this just for fun, just to take things apart and then put them back together. But it's still entertaining for me. It gives me something to do. I'm not the type of person that likes to just sit and watch a movie or sit and watch TV. I don't do that. If I hang out with friends, usually I hang out with friends. If I do it online, then I'll play some video games with friends. Rarely, if you've been a part of this channel, I don't normally play a lot of single player stuff. I just don't. It's not my style. I will from time to time, just experience and stuff, but a lot of times I'll just do that to, and then I'll, you know, stream it and pay attention to the chat and what's going on. Speaking of chat, what's up? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, some people like to read books. You're right. Some people like to read books. Some people like to take apart consoles. I guess that does kind of fit me, doesn't it? So I'm going to try and see if I can pull this off now, okay? Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Give me just a second. Okay, so there's 2 there. I didn't do. I got another. Is it a 4 in there? Okay. All right. I see what's up. I don't necessarily want to. I don't think I have to pull this back out. I think I got everything else I need still. Alright, we're just going to go with it. Nope, we're going to go with that. That's good. Alright. Put her back together. Cool. Alright, so now let me see. I got. We're going to snap into place. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I think that's it. Alright, now we'll go back through this again. Again. All this. Okay. There's that pop. So again, pay attention, you guys, when you're tightening things down. You don't, if it feels like it's harder than it should, stop. Don't hulk on it and try and strip everything out. Because these screws were in, right? The screws were in, meaning their threads were in there and it was fine. If you're fighting threads, then stop, grab a Snickers, and then figure out what is binding up and fix it. And usually it's because you're trying to screw it in crooked. This is gonna be good. Oh. Cool. There it is. I should work on talk to some of my friends that do a lot of streaming and start putting like background music on, but I'm worried about getting copyright strikes and all that stuff. You know how that goes, where I'm like, I'm just trying to listen to sweet music in the background, but no, YouTube's like, nah, I don't think so. Cool. What do we got, Shadow? I see you saying something. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Search copyright-free music. I get it. I did that already once, and guess what? When it was copyright-free, the person that made it was like, it's going to stay free, until they went, nah, we decided we're not going to make it free anymore. Now you got to pay. So all of my, because I used it for a couple of intros, nope, that didn't last any longer. I was like, no, I'm not doing that no more. So I wasted enough time with that. I'm not paying that dude when he said, hey, it's free. That was like a bait and switch. So yeah, it worked fine for 6 months until they were like, all right, I got enough people using my stuff. Now I'm going to charge them for it. I was like, man, forget you. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, okay. All right, Panda. Yeah, I'll talk to you a little more about that. I'm still new, so we can talk about that and see what's up. I'm down with that. I'm really down though to get this GameCube back together, and then hopefully in the description I'll be able to tell you that I fired it up and it worked. So, what? Is it gonna be a tease? Yep. The tease is I'm putting it back together, and then you're gonna put it back together, and then I'm going to tell you if it worked or not. Oh well. Oh well. Get tripped up. Hang on, I got to check this chat too. What we got? Oh, this one wasn't supposed to be in yet. And we got something in the chat. Hang on. Soundtrack makes at least Twitch. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, Shadow, I'll look into that too, man. We'll have to talk for sure. There, this one can go now. There's so much stinking technology built into this little tiny GameCube. It's nuts. Like, it was designed really cool, actually. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. A whole lot. A whole heap from my daughter's favorite movie. Anybody know what that's come from? Love you a whole heap, man. Hold it. Yeah, Cool Runnings. Those of you that don't know, I gave a second. Found a guy who will chip tune any song. Oh, yeah, Shadow. We're gonna talk, buddy, because I am down with that. Because I need to get some As They Sleep chip tune. I'm about all of that. Cool. I like that. Thank you for the heads up on that. I appreciate you. Let's see now. Pop this bad boy back together. Oh man, it is coming together. Look at all this stuff. All this stuff in here. Stuff and things. Okay, good. This one too. It is a beautiful console. It is beautiful, Panda. You are 100% correct. But I mean, just those of you that haven't looked inside a GameCube, I mean, this thing is heavy, dude. Like it's a heavy piece of machinery. Like when you start checking it out, all this other cool stuff, like the fans, the front board, where the memory cards go. I mean, it's just a really, really neat system. Really neat. Okay. All right. So let me keep going here. All right. So we got the back now. We're getting close, I think. I'm getting to that point. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The digital out, or it says digital out. I don't know if it's gonna be able to see it there. Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. Wow. Yeah. Man, that's. Am I using the right camera? This is normally my Chub cam. I should be using this one for the face. No, never mind. I don't want to use that for the face because it might be a little bit too realistic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, I know. So a clear shell for a GameCube would be freaking amazing. But I think I'm gonna do like a smoke clear shell for one of my N64s, and I want to see how it looks because I know I did. You've seen before, Panda. I have a clear. If you've seen my GameCube episode or my episode with for Law, that I have my GameCube. I actually bought a clear case and I swapped all the guts, and it is awesome. The clear, being able to see through it and actually see how the inner working on a console is really cool, actually. Okay, so this goes in, snaps in place right there. Okay. All right. Then we got this board here. So this board, let me flip it around so I can kind of show you. This board plugs in right in the center. Let me move this other one. Hopefully that was the issue. I never can tell. Okay, so this board, you have this wire here that needs to plug into this down here. If I can see it from this side, is a little bit difficult. All right, sorry, you got to see it, but I gotta see it now. That's too hard. Okay. See if I can turn it to the side so we can both look. Okay. Get in there. There it is. Whoop. Nice. All right, so this just hooks under there. These snap in place like so. Look at that. It's all coming together. Look at it. Give you the once over. Like, look at all this stuff in here. This thing probably weighs, I don't know, 2.5, 3 pounds, if I had to guess. I mean, it's pretty solid. Just really, really a cool system, man. All right, so 2001 EOL Power 1. All right, cool. All right, let's keep going. All right, so I think that's it. We got this one that comes up and through. I want to see, is there anything else that I'm missing? I think those are all the screw holes that I had. Yep. Okay. Well, let's keep going. Yep. Buttons all work. Boop. This is just a sexy machine. All right, so let me do this. Set this down here, because I'm going to be turning it upside down. Try and protect it a little bit. apart. Alright. So let me see. Yeah, DOL001 is the oh, yeah, you're right, Panda. That is a great idea. A Mario block one? Heck yeah. That would be sweet. Man, they missed the boat on that one. Okay, I think that's where that goes. These are those special, the special Nintendo anti. Let me see if I can show it to you. The anti. Where is it at? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. So they're like an anti-tamper one. So. And this is what that looks like. I gotta look inside here. Come on, man. There it is. Again, you don't have to Hulk this stuff down either. So just be careful. Just know it's plastic. Be gentle. Right? You don't want to just ram it in there, right? Just slow. You got to work it in. You know what I'm talking about. Just be gentle. Could you Hulk it? Yes. Should you Hulk it? No. Oh, they're all in there. That's why. It's like, where'd they all go? I don't like that. I'll take this back out. Oh, that's it. Okay. That looks good. Now I gotta figure out what this. I think these 3 screws are those. Okay. Well. Let's see. I don't think that's right. It is not. Those don't have anything in them. Cool. Alright. Okay. Well, I think we're ready to test. So, I'm excited about it. Hopefully, it will, that will be the culprit. But, yeah, we don't really know yet until we try it. So, anyways, that's going to be it then. So, thanks guys for hanging out, and I'll put it in the description if it worked or not. Alright? Later. Success.